And in other news, Sonam Wangchuk, the social reformist engineer, will observe a 5-day fast, he says, to draw the government's attention towards the eco-fragile Ladakh region, as all is not well, he says, in the Union territory. Ahead of his symbolic fast, he has planned from January 26th at Khardungla Pass at an elevation of 18,000 feet, where the temperature drops to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Wangchuk spoke exclusively to Republic TV and voiced his concerns about Ladakh. Listen in.
Joining us on This Is Exclusive tonight is Dr. Sonam Wangchuk. Dr. Wangchuk, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, you're starting what you're calling a 5-day symbolic fast, and that too because you want to highlight a fragile Ladakh at this point in time, which faces severe challenges. First, what made you to take this particular decision?
Well, everybody knows Himalayas, and particularly this region of Ladakh is very fragile environmentally, and now it has become a union territory, which is like the best news we could have. But the problem is that it is not complete with the safeguards that we expected. And those safeguards for the environment, people and the land are enshrined in the Constitution of India on the basis of the 95% tribal population of Ladakh. This was taken as a no-brainer and a granted, given thing. But unfortunately, after assurances in the beginning of the UT announcement, they have not happened for the last 3 years. And people here are very concerned about all these issues. And we wanted to, especially leaders from Ladakh, both Leh and Kargil, have been in discussion, but not much has been happening on that front. Of course, government had given assurances. They had even kept it as the top priorities in their election manifestos. But so far, there is no safeguards for Ladakh, which would mean that it will be open for exploitation by all kinds of industries, commerce, and so on, which will be not possible for a fragile, sensitive region like this, a cold mountain desert. So therefore, to attract the attention of the government towards this, I am taking this step of symbolic climate fast for 5 days from this 26 January on top of Khardungla Pass. So my hope is that A, the government listens, and B, the people of India, because it's not just government that causes such things. It's the people in their big cities. So I am also appealing to people to join me in this.
Dr. Wangchuk, are there any particular projects that you're really looking at which you feel perhaps would be causing more problems for the people of Ladakh?
So apart from locally giving safeguards to the region, as I said, it is the lifestyle of people in the big cities in our country and abroad. So my mission is also to give them a call and draw their attention to the fact then that when these glaciers in the Himalayas are melted, you will also have a difficult time, because Himalayan glaciers are the source of water for roughly 2 billion people. 1 billion on the Indian subcontinent and another on the Chinese side. So 1/4 of the world's population depends on these. So I want them all to take this seriously. And therefore I was saying, while I go on a 5 days fast on the coldest place in India, I would like people in the big cities to also join me by doing a 1-day fast for the climate and pledge to change their lifestyles as called by the Prime Minister through the Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment, which he announced at COP27. So we have to bring this into action, and therefore I urge people to change their lifestyles, and I urge the government to give the due safeguards to Ladakh under 6th schedule of the Constitution.
Dr. Wangchuk, across the globe, we have seen, several initiatives that are essentially being taken on forums like COP27, also multiple promises being made by developing nations as well as advanced economy nations. Do you believe that to a larger extent, all of this turns out to become a mere lip service without much really happening on the ground?
Yes, unfortunately that, and that will not change till citizens change. Every person on this planet needs to feel for the planet, and then the governments will feel and actually act. If people take it as business as usual and think about their income, their revenue, their GDP alone, then we lose more than we gain through the income of our commerce and industry. You can imagine if heavy industries come to this fragile land, Ladakh, initially you may see some income coming from whatever copper or gold you can mine, but then it will leave the whole place destroyed. So short-term intelligent moves will not help. You need long-term wisdom. And that is one thing we can learn from the Joshimath incident, that short-term gain of few causing long-term problems for many.
Dr. Wangchuk, one final question that I would like to take from you is with regards to the dialogue that you may or you may not have had with the government so far. What is it that you would like to tell the government at this point in time? Because at the end of the day, not only citizens, but there is a larger role that the government also plays. And let's not forget there are multiple promises that have been made by our environment minister in the recent climate forum. And the fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister too has made multiple promises, and the fact that there is a roadmap that India wants to tread upon. So what is it that you would like to tell the government at this stage?
I would just appeal to the government to keep their promise, which was, explicitly made over the past 3 years, to give protection to this region and the people through 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution, and thereby we can make sure that this fragile land is protected. Because I've always said people of Ladakh are not so much concerned about, some income from this business or that, but rather in the long-term harmonious, sustainable progress of this region. So I appeal to them to consider these and call the leaders of Ladakh for talks to discuss how they can fulfill the promises they gave and make this announcement by the Prime Minister of declaring Ladakh as a carbon neutral zone a reality. Because when you keep it open for unlimited industry, you cannot go carbon neutral at the same time.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Sonam Wangchuk, for putting this into perspective and speaking to Republic TV.